Elon sat on the cold rooftop of his childhood home in Pretoria, South Africa, staring at the night sky. The vastness of space made him feel small, yet filled him with an unshakable certainty. One day, he would reach the stars. Elon Musk wasn't like other children. While most kids played soccer after school, Elon spent his time devouring books, lost in the world of science fiction and engineering. At just 10 years old, he had already read Encyclopedia Britannica cover to cover and could discuss complex physics theories with adults. His insatiable curiosity set him apart, often making him feel isolated. Growing up in South Africa during the late 1970s and early 1980s, Elon had a challenging childhood. His father, Elon Musk, was an engineer, a brilliant but strict man, while his mother, May Musk, was a model and dietitian who taught him the importance of hard work. Despite being highly intelligent, Elon faced bullying at school. His quiet nature and obsession with technology made him an easy target. He was once beaten so badly by classmates that he had to be hospitalized. But adversity only fueled his determination. Instead of retreating, he turned to his greatest refuge, computers. At just 12 years old, he learned to code and created a simple space-themed video game called Blaster. He sold it for $500, his first taste of entrepreneurship. The dream takes shape. Elon's fascination with technology, space, and energy solutions grew stronger each day. He believed that humanity had two choices: stay confined to Earth and risk extinction, become a multiplanetary species. His mind constantly raced with what-if questions. What if people could travel to Mars? What if sustainable energy could replace fossil fuels? What if AI could revolutionize human life? But South Africa wasn't a place to chase these dreams. He longed for America, a country he saw as a land of innovation. He was determined to get there, no matter what. The road to America. At 17, Elon made a bold decision. He would leave South Africa behind. He knew that his best chance was through Canada, where his mother had citizenship. He convinced his father to let him go and moved to Ontario, Canada, in 1989, with almost nothing. In Canada, he faced harsh winters, low-paying jobs, and a struggle for survival. He worked on farms, shoveled grain, and even cleaned boiler rooms for a few dollars an hour. But he never lost sight of his dream. Finally, in 1992, he earned a scholarship to University of Pennsylvania, where he studied physics and economics. It was here that he truly began to shape his vision. He spent nights discussing big ideas with friends, always returned to one core belief: the future depended on bold innovations. The birth of an entrepreneur. After graduating, Elon realized he had a choice: pursue a stable job in physics, take a risk, and build something revolutionary. He chose the latter. His first startup, Zip2, provided online business directories, an idea ahead of its time. The company grew rapidly, and in 1999, Compaq bought it for $307 million. At just 28 years old, Elon Musk became a millionaire. But money wasn't his goal. Impact was. He had bigger ambitions: online banking, electric cars, space exploration. The world was about to witness the rise of a visionary unlike any other. After selling Zip2 for $307 million, Elon Musk had more money than he had ever imagined. Most people in his position would have retired or invested conservatively. But Elon was different. Instead of playing it safe, he bet everything on a new idea: digital banking. In 1999, traditional banking was slow, inefficient, and outdated. People still relied on paper checks to transfer money, and online payments were a complicated process. Elon saw an opportunity. He envisioned a world where people could send money instantly, from anywhere, using just an email. This led to the creation of X.com, an online financial services company. He poured $12 million of his own money into it, risking nearly everything. The idea was ambitious, and the road ahead was treacherous. The struggle for survival. X.com faced enormous challenges from the start. White-heavy checkmark security concerns. Many people didn't trust online banking. White-heavy checkmark competition. Several startups, including Confinity, later PayPal, were working on similar ideas. White-heavy checkmark banking regulations. Governments were skeptical about a digital-only financial system. But Elon was relentless. He worked day and night, coding alongside his team, pushing them to innovate faster. To attract customers, X.com offered $20 for every new account, an aggressive growth strategy. It worked. Thousands of users signed up, and the company quickly became a major player in online banking. However, as X.com grew, internal conflicts started brewing. Investors and executives questioned Elon's leadership style. He was known for setting impossibly high expectations, often working 100-hour weeks, and demanding the same from his employees. Some admired his drive. Others found it unbearable. Things took a dramatic turn when the board of directors removed Elon as CEO while he was on vacation. It was a crushing betrayal. However, rather than fight, he chose a strategic retreat. X.com eventually merged with Infinity and rebranded as PayPal. In 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion, making Elon a multimillionaire once again. But once again, he wasn't interested in wealth. His mind was already on the next frontier, space and sustainable energy. Tesla, the electric revolution. Most billionaires would have retired comfortably at this stage, but Elon wasn't wired that way. Instead of buying luxury yachts or mansions, he poured his money into two industries that seemed impossible: space travel and electric cars. In the early 2000s, electric cars were seen as a joke, slow, ugly, and impractical. The auto industry had no interest in replacing gasoline engines. But Elon believed that a sustainable future depended on clean energy, and he wasn't willing to wait for others to take action. In 2004, he invested in Tesla Motors, a small startup working on electric vehicles. At the time, Tesla was on the verge of collapse. Their first car, the Tesla Roadster, was ambitious but faced constant delays and technical failures. Elon took control, becoming Tesla's CEO. He demanded perfection, pushing his engineers to create a fast, powerful, and long-range electric car, something that had never been done before. The Tesla Roadster launched in 2008, with an unheard-of 245-mile range. It shocked the industry. But despite this milestone, Tesla was in serious trouble. The 2008 crisis, the darkest days. Just as Tesla was trying to establish itself, the 2008 financial crisis hit. Investors pulled out, and Tesla was on the verge of bankruptcy. Elon was now juggling Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity, and all three companies were collapsing at the same time. He had invested every last cent of his fortune, nearly $180 million, into his companies. At one point, he had to borrow money from friends just to pay rent. Everything was falling apart. This was rock bottom, the turning point. Despite the chaos, Elon refused to give up. His resilience was tested, but he fought harder than ever. Then, in December 2008, two life-changing events occurred. NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract for cargo missions to the International Space Station. Automobile Tesla secured last-minute funding, saving it from bankruptcy. It was a miracle. Against all odds, Elon had survived the storm. The next decade would prove that he wasn't just a dreamer. He was an unstoppable force, ready to reshape the future. The dream of SpaceX. Even as Tesla struggled to survive in the 2008 financial crisis, Elon Musk was also fighting a battle in another industry: space travel. For years, he had believed that humanity needed to become a multi-planetary species. Relying on Earth alone was too dangerous. A single asteroid impact, nuclear war, or climate disaster could wipe out civilization. But there was a problem. Space travel was insanely expensive. In 2002, NASA spent hundreds of millions of dollars per launch. The space industry was dominated by a few massive companies that had no motivation to reduce costs. Elon saw this as an opportunity. His idea was simple but bold. Rocket build reusable rockets. Rocket reduce the cost of spaceflight. Rocket make human life multiplanetary. With this vision, he founded SpaceX, Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, in 2002, investing $100 million of his own money. The goal? To put a rocket into orbit, then build a sustainable way to send people to Mars. Failure after failure. Elon's ambition was laughed at by the aerospace industry. They dismissed him as a rich tech guy with no experience in rocket science. The early years of SpaceX were brutal. The company built its first rocket, the Falcon 1, with the goal of making history as the first privately funded spacecraft to reach orbit. First launch, 2006 rocket crossmark failure. The rocket exploded seconds after liftoff due to a fuel leak. Second launch, 2007 rocket crossmark failure. The rocket made it to space, but lost control before reaching orbit. Third launch, 2008 rocket crossmark failure. The rocket almost made it, but the engine shut down prematurely, leading to another crash. Each failed launch burned through millions of dollars. By August 2008, SpaceX was running out of money. Investors were losing faith, and even Elon was nearly broke after pouring everything into his companies. Police Starlight one more failure, and SpaceX would be finished. Police Starlight, the fourth and final attempt. September 28, 2008. This was it, the last chance. If they failed, SpaceX would be dead. Elon stood in the control center, watching the Falcon 1 rocket on the launch pad. His heart pounded as the final seconds ticked away. Rocket liftoff. The rocket shot into the sky, flames roaring beneath it. The entire SpaceX team watched in complete silence, barely breathing. The first stage separated perfectly. Then, the second stage ignited successfully. Then, for the first time in history, Falcon 1 reached orbit. Globe showing Europe-Africa rocket. SpaceX had just become the first private company to send a liquid-fueled rocket into orbit. Elon collapsed into his chair, exhausted but overwhelmed with joy. They had done it. The NASA deal that changed everything. Just when things seemed impossible, another miracle happened. In December 2008, just 2 months after their breakthrough, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to send cargo to the International Space Station, ISS. This was the lifeline SpaceX needed. They were no longer a struggling startup. They were now a serious competitor in the space industry. With this funding, SpaceX developed the Falcon 9, a more powerful rocket designed for human spaceflight. But Elon wasn't satisfied. He had one bigger, crazier goal: to make rockets reusable. The reusable rocket revolution. For decades, rockets were used once and discarded, costing hundreds of millions per launch. Elon wanted to land and reuse rockets, making space travel as cheap as air travel. Everyone told him it was impossible. No one had ever done it before. But SpaceX kept trying. Over and over, they attempted to land Falcon 9's first stage back on Earth. Rocket 2013 to 2014, multiple failures. Rockets crashed into the ocean. Rocket 2015, first successful soft landing on solid ground. Globe showing Europe-Africa. Rocket 2016, first successful landing on a drone ship in the ocean. By 2017, SpaceX reused a rocket for the first time in history. This changed space travel forever. Now, instead of hundreds of millions per launch, SpaceX could launch rockets for just a few $1 million. Suddenly, go to Mars seemed possible. The Mars mission, Starship and beyond. With Falcon 9 a success, SpaceX moved to its ultimate goal, Mars. Elon announced the development of Starship, a fully reusable spacecraft designed for interplanetary travel. His vision was simple. Rocket launched Starship to Mars. Rocket build a human colony of 1 million people. Rocket make life multiplanetary. Many experts say it's crazy, but so is reusable rockets. And SpaceX proved it could be done. Now, SpaceX is closer than ever to launching humans to Mars within the next decade. The legacy of a visionary. Elon Musk started SpaceX with a dream of space travel. He faced ridicule, failure, and near bankruptcy, but he refused to give up. Now, SpaceX is the most successful private space company in history. They are building the rockets that will one day take humanity beyond Earth. But Elon's story isn't over yet. His other companies, Tesla, Neuralink, The Boring Company, and more, were about to change the world in ways no one could imagine. Rocket from launching rockets to building self-driving cars. The next chapter will be his most ambitious yet. By the early 2000s, electric cars were considered failure. They were slow, had poor battery life, and couldn't compete with gasoline-powered vehicles. The world was still addicted to fossil fuels, and the auto industry had no interest in change. But Elon Musk saw the future differently. He believed that the only way to fight climate change was to replace gas-powered cars with clean, electric alternatives. In 2004, Elon invested $6.5 million in a small startup called Tesla Motors, becoming its largest shareholder. At the time, Tesla had a radical idea to build a fast, powerful, and desirable electric car. But there was a problem. White heavy checkmark battery technology wasn't ready. White heavy checkmark electric cars had a reputation for being weak and slow. White heavy checkmark the auto industry laughed at Tesla, predicting its failure. But Elon had heard that before. People had also said SpaceX would fail. And now, SpaceX was dominating space travel. So, just like before, he pushed forward. The first Tesla, a rocky start. Tesla's first car was a Tesla Roadster, an electric sports car designed to prove that EVs could be powerful. It had automobile 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.7 seconds. Battery 245 miles per charge. Globe showing Europe, Africa zero emissions. It was revolutionary, but it almost destroyed the company. Tesla's biggest challenges. Money bag, it was too expensive. The Roadster cost $109,000, limiting its market. Battery production was slow. Tesla struggled to manufacture enough units. Automobile car industry resistance. Big automakers didn't take Tesla seriously. By 2008, Tesla was on the edge of bankruptcy. Just like SpaceX, it was running out of money fast. Elon was facing the worst year of his life. Both SpaceX and Tesla were collapsing at the same time. At one point, he had to choose. Rocket save SpaceX and continue the dream of Mars? Automobile or save Tesla and fight for a sustainable planet? Instead of choosing, he bet everything on both. He invested his last $40 million into Tesla to keep it alive. Then, in December 2008, the impossible happened. Rocket NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract, saving it from collapse. Automobile Tesla secured last-minute funding, preventing bankruptcy. Elon had survived once again. But the real fight for Tesla was only beginning. Tesla versus the world, breaking the auto industry. The Tesla Roadster proved that electric cars could be fast and exciting. But it wasn't a mass-market car. Elon had a master plan. Keycap 1 built an expensive sports car, Tesla Roadster, to attract attention. Keycap 2 used the money to develop a high-end sedan Model S. Keycap 3 used profits to create an affordable car for everyone, Model 3. Keycap 4 expanded into solar energy and self-driving cars. The auto industry laughed at his plan. But in 2012, Tesla released a Model S, and it changed everything. It had automobile the longest electric range ever, over 300 miles per charge. High voltage ludicrous mode, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds, faster than Ferraris. Video game a giant touchscreen, replacing traditional buttons. Suddenly, Tesla wasn't a joke anymore. The Model S won Car of the Year awards, and people started questioning gasoline cars. The big three automakers, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, saw Tesla as a threat. Fighting to survive, Tesla's near-death experience again. Tesla was winning on innovation, but it still faced huge problems. Cross-mark car production delays. Factories struggled to keep up with demand. Cross-mark short sellers attacked Tesla. Wall Street investors bet billions that Tesla would fail. Cross-mark government pressure. Some politicians and oil companies tried to stop Tesla's rise. By 2017, Elon launched the Model 3, Tesla's first affordable electric car, $35,000. Demand skyrocketed. Over 500,000 people pre-ordered it, proving that the world wanted electric cars. But Tesla struggled to make enough cars. Production problems nearly bankrupted the company again. Elon was sleeping in the factory, working 120-hour weeks, personally helping fix problems. At one point, Tesla had only 1 month of cash left, but Elon refused to quit. He pushed his team beyond their limits, and by 2018, Tesla finally ramped up production. Suddenly, Tesla was profitable for the first time. Rocket, the future of Tesla, a world of self-driving cars. Now, Tesla is more than just an electric car company. It is working on brain-full self-driving FSD, cars that drive themselves with AI, new battery tech, making electric cars cheaper than gas cars, globe showing Europe, Africa solar energy, powering homes and businesses with clean energy, articulated lorry Tesla Semi, electric trucks for industries, racing car Tesla Roadster 2.0, the fastest car in the world, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.9 seconds. In 2021, Tesla became the world's most valuable car company, bigger than Ford, GM, and Toyota combined. The bigger vision, Tesla's impact on the world. Rocket Tesla forced every car company to go electric. Globe showing Europe, Africa Tesla is helping the world transition to sustainable energy. Robot Face Tesla is leading the way in AI and robotics. Elon Musk didn't just create a car company. He created a movement. His vision is clear. White heavy checkmark, every car on the road should be electric. White heavy checkmark self-driving AI will reduce traffic deaths. White heavy checkmark solar energy will replace fossil fuels. But Tesla is only one piece of Elon's grand plan. His next moves? Neuralink, brain chips, the Boring Company, underground tunnels, and AI-driven robotics. The final words of Chapter 4. Elon Musk bet everything on Tesla. He was laughed at, underestimated, and nearly went bankrupt multiple times. But he never quit. Now, Tesla is leading the future of transportation. And yet, Elon's ambitions still aren't complete. Rocket, he still wants to colonize Mars. Brain, he wants to merge AI with the human brain. Globe showing Europe, Africa, he wants to solve traffic problems with underground tunnels. What happens next? Find out in Chapter 5. In a quiet laboratory filled with blinking screens and robotic arms, a scientist pressed a button. A small chip the size of a coin was gently implanted into a rat's brain. The monitors came to life. Neurons fired, and the rat moved in response. The experiment was a success. Elon Musk's boldest vision was now a step closer to reality, merging the human brain with artificial intelligence. A new frontier, the human brain and AI. By the late 2010s, Elon Musk was already revolutionizing space travel with SpaceX and electric vehicles with Tesla. But he saw a new, terrifying problem emerging. Artificial intelligence, AI, was evolving too fast. The risk? AI could become so powerful that it would surpass human intelligence, potentially making humans obsolete or even irrelevant. Most people feared this future. Elon decided to do something about it. His solution? Merge the human brain with AI, allowing people to interface directly with computers and enhance their cognitive abilities. And so, in 2016, he co-founded Neuralink, a company dedicated to creating brain-machine interfaces, BMIs. The birth of Neuralink, turning science fiction into reality. Neuralink's goal was ambitious and borderline science fiction. Brain implant a tiny chip in the brain. Thought balloon let humans control computers with their thoughts. Rocket upgrade human intelligence to keep up with AI. But Elon was serious. He brought together some of the world's best neuroscientists, engineers, and AI experts to make it happen. The first challenge? Developing a device that could be implanted safely. Neuralink's breakthrough device. Microscope size, a small chip, no larger than a coin. Satellite antenna function, reads and transmits brain signals wirelessly. Robot face surgical procedure, inserted using a robotic system for precision. High voltage capabilities, could help with paralysis, brain disorders, and even memory loss. The team spent years perfecting the technology, testing on rats, monkeys, and eventually pigs. Then, in 2020, Elon made a shocking announcement. They successfully implanted Neuralink in a pig named Gertrude. Movie camera live demonstration. Gertrude's brain signals were displayed on a screen in real time as she moved. The world was amazed and terrified. Was this the beginning of a new era of human intelligence? Or a dangerous step toward a dystopian future? The ethical debate. A future of superhumans? Neuralink promised groundbreaking medical applications. White heavy checkmark helping paralyzed people move again. White heavy checkmark treating brain, disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. White heavy checkmark, enhancing human memory and cognitive abilities. But critics raise concerns. Crossmark could be hacked, allowing others to control a person's mind. Crossmark would create a gap between upgraded and normal humans. Crossmark was it too risky to perform brain surgeries for enhancement? Elon acknowledged the risks, but he believed that not upgrading humans was even more dangerous. "We are already cyborgs," he said in an interview. "Your phone, your computer, they're extensions of you. Neuralink just makes it faster." But Neuralink wasn't Elon's only wild project at the time. In 2016, while dealing with Tesla and SpaceX, he had an entirely different problem to solve: traffic. The Boring Company, solving traffic with underground tunnels. Automobile, imagine a world where you never sit in traffic again. Elon Musk was tired of traffic jams in Los Angeles. One day, after being stuck for hours, he tweeted, "Traffic is driving me nuts. I'm going to build a tunnel boring machine and just start digging." At first, people thought he was joking, but soon he created the Boring Company, a startup dedicated to building underground tunnels to solve urban congestion. His idea? A futuristic underground transportation system where electric vehicles like Teslas would move at high speeds in dedicated tunnels, avoiding surface traffic. The first test, building the tunnel. In 2018, the Boring Company completed its first test tunnel in Los Angeles. Metro length, 1.14 miles. Rocket speed, up to 150 miles per hour. Battery only for electric vehicles, no emissions underground. Critics said it would never work, but Elon kept pushing forward. In 2021, the Boring Company opened its first public tunnel in Las Vegas, transporting passengers in Tesla cars underground. Cityscape had thus the goal: build a network of tunnels across major cities, allowing cars and Hyperloop-style transport to move freely below the surface. Elon's tunnel vision was becoming a reality, but even as he worked on Neuralink and the Boring Company, his biggest challenge yet was approaching. A battle with Wall Street, the media, and his own leadership style would soon shake Tesla and his entire career to its core. The rise of Tesla, from near bankruptcy to world domination. By 2020, Tesla had become the most valuable car company in the world, surpassing giants like Toyota, Ford, and General Motors. Automobile revolutionary electric vehicles. Battery cutting-edge battery technology. High-voltage self-driving AI advancements. But it wasn't always this way. Tesla had come close to bankruptcy multiple times. In 2008, during the financial crisis, the company barely survived. Elon poured his last remaining personal funds into Tesla to keep it alive. "Moneybag, I thought we had maybe a 10% chance of success," he later admitted. Yet, year after year, Tesla proved the critics wrong. The Model S became the fastest electric sedan. The Model 3 became the best-selling EV in the world. The Gigafactory started mass-producing batteries on an unprecedented scale. But Wall Street still didn't believe in Tesla. The short sellers, betting against Musk. Hedge funds and investors known as short sellers believed Tesla was overhyped. They bet billions of dollars that Tesla's stock would crash. Chart decreasing if Tesla failed, they would make a fortune. Chart increasing if Tesla succeeded, they would lose billions. Elon took this personally. He hated the idea that people were actively betting against his company, trying to profit from Tesla's failure. He started publicly attacking short sellers on Twitter, calling them Tesla haters and financial terrorists. But then in 2018, Elon made a move that changed everything. The $420 tweet that shook Wall Street. On August 7, 2018, Elon Musk tweeted, "AM considering taking Tesla private at $420. Funding secured." The internet exploded. Rocket. If true, Tesla's stock price would skyrocket. But was it true? The SEC immediately launched an investigation. Their claim? Oncoming police car, Elon misled investors because he didn't actually have funding secured. The consequences? Elon was forced to step down as Tesla's chairman and pay a $20 million fine. But Musk didn't care about the fine. He cared about his freedom to speak his mind. After the tweet scandal, Tesla stock started rising instead of falling. The short sellers lost billions, and Musk celebrated. On Twitter, he posted, "Fire, Tesla short shorts coming soon." True to his word, he launched actual Tesla-branded red satin shorts as a joke, further mocking the short sellers. Tesla's stock price kept climbing, and in 2020, it did the unthinkable. Tesla became the world's most valuable car company. Tesla's greatest innovations. Even as Tesla battled Wall Street, the company continued to push boundaries. Keycap won battery breakthroughs. Tesla extended EV range beyond 400 miles. Keycap 2 autopilot and full self-driving FSD. AI-powered driving technology improved rapidly. Keycap 3 Cybertruck unveiling, 2019. The futuristic, bulletproof truck shocked the world. Keycap 4 Tesla Gigafactories, expanding production worldwide, China, Germany, Texas. Tesla was winning, but there was another battle brewing. One that would test Elon Musk like never before. The COVID-19 pandemic. Tesla versus government regulations. In early 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic shut down businesses around the world. Governments ordered Tesla's Fremont factory in California to close. But Musk refused to accept it. "Police Scarlight, if anyone is arrested, I ask that it only be me," he tweeted, defying the shutdown orders. He reopened Tesla's factory against government rules, arguing that Tesla was essential and should remain open. The media attacked him, calling him irresponsible. But Musk doubled down. Syringe, he personally arranged ventilator shipments for hospitals. Test tube Tesla helped develop rapid COVID testing solutions. Rocket SpaceX launched astronauts to the ISS in the middle of the pandemic. While other companies struggled, Tesla thrived. By the end of 2020, Tesla stock soared to record levels. Rocket Tesla officially became a trillion-dollar company. But for Elon Musk, there was no time to celebrate. His next move would be his biggest yet, a step beyond Earth itself. The countdown began. T-minus 10, 9, 8. The world held its breath. Millions watched as SpaceX's massive Starship stood tall on the launch pad, ready to embark on humanity's boldest mission yet. If all went well, this rocket would be the first step toward making humans a multi-planetary species. Elon Musk wasn't just chasing a dream. He was changing the fate of civilization itself. A mission beyond Earth. The dream of Mars. Elon Musk had always believed that humanity's future was at risk if it remained confined to Earth. Globes showing America's climate change, overpopulation, asteroid impacts, or even AI threats. Any of these could wipe out human civilization. Rocket a solution? We must become an interplanetary species. From the very beginning, Musk had one ultimate goal. Backhand index pointing right, build a self-sustaining human colony on Mars. This wasn't just science fiction. He was serious. In 2002, he founded SpaceX, not just to launch satellites, but to create the technology that could take people to Mars. Fast forward to 2023, and Musk's dream was closer than ever before. The Starship revolution, the rocket that could change everything. For decades, space travel was insanely expensive. Satellite NASA's Apollo missions in the 1960s, 70s cost billions of dollars per flight. Rocket the Space Shuttle program was also too costly to sustain. Musk knew that if humans were ever going to colonize Mars, space travel had to be cheaper. So, SpaceX revolutionized the industry with white heavy checkmark reusable rockets. First seen with Falcon 9, landed successfully in 2015. White heavy checkmark massive payload capacity. Starship could carry over 100 tons to orbit. White heavy checkmark ultra low costs. SpaceX aimed to bring launch costs below $10 million per flight. Starship was the key to Mars. In 2021, the first successful high-altitude test flight of Starship proved it could work. By 2023, SpaceX launched multiple test flights, refining the technology. Musk's timeline? Full moon landing by 2025 as part of NASA's Artemis program. Rocket first humans on Mars by the early 2030s. Challenges of colonizing Mars. Getting to Mars was just step one. The real challenge? Surviving there. Snowflake Mars is freezing. Average temperature, minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 62 degrees Celsius. Skull and crossbones, no breathable air. 95% of the atmosphere is CO2. Droplet limited water. Only ice at the poles and underground. To make Mars livable, Musk proposed. Keycap 1 terraforming Mars. We could drop nuclear bombs over the poles to warm the planet, Musk once joked, though he later clarified it was just a wild idea. Keycap 2 massive greenhouses. To grow food with controlled environments. Keycap 3 underground habitats. Protect against radiation. Keycap 4 mining water ice. For drinking and making rocket fuel. Critics said it was impossible. But Musk had already done the impossible before. The first Mars base will start small, he said, like the early American colonies. But it will grow. His vision? Cityscape, a full city on Mars by 2050, with 1 million people. The first human mission, a historic moment. Finally, in the late 2020s, Musk announced the first crewed mission to Mars. Globe showing Europe-Africa launch site. Starbase, Texas. Rocket. Starship Super Heavy. Man-astronaut crew. A mix of scientists, engineers, and explorers. Directed destination, Mars Jezero crater, where ancient water once flowed. Millions watched as Starship lifted off, carrying the first humans toward Mars. The journey would take 6 to 9 months. But if successful, humanity would officially become an interplanetary species. Would they survive? Would Musk's dream finally come true? The world waited. The legacy of Elon Musk. As Musk watched the launch, he knew he had accomplished something beyond himself. White heavy checkmark, he had revolutionized space travel with SpaceX. White heavy checkmark, he had transformed transportation with Tesla. White heavy checkmark, he had changed AI, energy, and brain-computer interfaces. White heavy checkmark, and now he had pushed humanity toward Mars. He wasn't just a billionaire or a CEO. He was a man who refused to accept limits. And as the first humans landed on Mars, stepping onto red soil for the first time in history, it was clear Elon Musk had changed the future of civilization forever. Rocket the journey had only just begun.